let's do three, two, one, go. All
Okay.
right.
You gonna
Ready?
say it?
Oh, I think we should say it together.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. Ready? Three,
Three,
two,
two, one,
one,
go.
go. Hi, I'm Reba,
And I'm Katie, and this is What About Bob's?
a podcast about friendship first,
Then movies.
and if we're lucky, a bob on top.
Hi, Reba.
Hi, how are you?
So good. I feel like this is one of those funny little instances of we have not gotten to talk at all before this started.
Yeah,
We're just jumping right in. How's it
we're
going
just
over
jumping
there?
right in. It's going. We have been so busy. I'm leaving town on Thursday, so it's just been crazy
It's
getting ready to
crazy.
go.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I have in my notes to remind myself to not talk about the weather, but to ask you,
But
but to ask you about if you're watching anything interesting right now or reading
I
anything.
will say the fact I'm curious because I am wearing a crop top and you are wearing a turtleneck and
Yes,
I'm
that's
dying to know
true.
what's going on over there. What's the
Yeah, we
weather
are dressed
like?
for two different seasons.
But we won't talk about it.
No, no, no. Now you're right. This is now mysterious. Why are we dressed for two completely different seasons?
What's happening?
I literally woke up, it was like 32 degrees this
Oh
morning,
my gosh.
and it's now 39.
Really?
It's it was so cold today. So New York, like all during March, famously has several false springs
Hmm.
until we have real spring.
Hmm.
So basically, the weather flip-flops every other day. I don't know how to dress every morning. Who knows? Am I
You just
wearing a
have to
coat? Am I
layer.
wearing a light jacket? Am I not? Do I not need a jacket? It's a
We
mystery.
usually
Anyway,
have fall spring, but this year it was just winter and then like summer
summer.
one day. Yeah, which I don't even, it was like in the 80s last week in mid-March, and I'm like, I don't even know what to do with myself, but we've been quoting in our house because of course it's like always, you're like, oh, like climate change, what's it going to be like in August? But we've been quoting in our house. Is it Smash Mouth? Smash Mouth All Star. Uh, the ice we skate's getting pretty thin. The water's getting warm, so you might as well swim. That's we might as well swim. It's a beautiful day.
It's a beautiful day, might as well.
In
Let's
the immortal words of Smash Mouth.
I don't know if you know this about me, but I this is one of that is one of the only songs that I know like by heart. Like
All the
every
words.
I know all the words, all the lyrics. For some
I
reason,
love that.
this is just a song that I know. So if I like need a song for karaoke, any of that, it's
We're
so
doing
funny.
it.
But I usually don't reference that particular line of the song.
It's not the standout line to you.
My favorite line, because I think there are quite a few truths in this song. My favorite line is the days start coming and they don't stop
They
coming.
don't stop
And I
coming.
don't think truer words have ever been said.
No,
That's what
they
I'm trying to
certainly
say.
don't stop coming.
They just
Uh,
start and they don't stop. I'm telling you.
we're gonna need to do karaoke. Last time we did karaoke, everyone in your wedding party got COVID because of us. So we need a redo. And I feel like it would be fun to do like with the group, like instead of bowling, I feel like we go bowling with the wedding party.
With the
We should
wedding
do a
party.
karaoke night.
Maybe do karaoke. That could be fun. Is there a place in
I don't know. We could also just do bowling and surely you can just sing at a bowling alley.
Surely.
Who will
Should,
stop you?
at that particular one we go to, I'm
Yeah.
sure they would let us.
I love this information though. I
Yes.
love this.
That
And we're
is,
gonna need to hear this at some point.
well, I'm like, I can sing it at the drop. It's my, for some reason, the
I
song that I
love
know really well.
I love it.
Um,
But to answer your question, we have been watching something new. We started, a coworker of mine has been nagging and nagging me, not nagging, she's been saying it nice, to watch The West Wing, which
Oh.
I am someone that watching The West Wing has never sounded fun to me. I do not like serious shows. I do not like boring shows. I'm like, no, I'm okay. Uh, but we finally started it last week, I think. We've been on like a big 90s kick. I think for like mental health, we've been like trying to like watch physical media, like watch a tape or a DVD or um oh my God, I bought, speaking of from Best Buy, I just bought Sinners and Challengers on DVD. So we got
Fun.
physical media. But yeah, just like doing the self-soothing of like, God, the mid 90s, like to have been a 30 something in the mid 90s really seems like it was just like
Mm-hmm.
the best. That was the little
Mm-hmm.
pocket.
Mm-hmm.
So The West Wing starts in 2001 and it's so good. We're on like episode 7, I think. And it's really similar to, it's written by Aaron Sorkin, which I know is like, it's written by Aaron Sorkin. I don't know anything else he's written. I could look it up, but I haven't. But I know that that's like a big deal. Um,
Why is that name familiar?
should we look it up?
I'm sorry. You're just telling me. Oh, okay. This is why. The Social Network
The
and
Social Network. So it's similar to The Social Network. It's like a lot of like
yes.
rat-tat-tat,
Yeah.
like people
Okay.
talking super fast,
Sure.
back
Yeah.
and forth. It's really similar to, in terms of dialogue, it's really similar to Gilmore Girls. It's like a lot of talking really
Okay.
fast, and it takes a
Okay.
minute to get into, but it's so like soothing in a like, this is how the government is supposed to function kind of way. And
Mm.
like people with like morals and like people like standing up for what they believe in, even though it's not popular. And it's like, it's so just, and like suits that are a little too big on everybody. It's just like really, and nobody's that hot. Rob Lowe is in it. Rob Lowe is pretty hot in it, but it's like his hair is a little too short and his glasses are a little too small. It's like no one's as hot as they could be, but it's really lovely. And we've just been really enjoying The
Okay.
West Wing.
What finally, you just did it to like appease this.
Yeah, mostly. Well, because she lent me the DVD box set, which is like a
Oh,
huge,
I see. I
it's like
see.
a file folder. It's made to look like a little like it's got like dossiers in it that have the DVDs.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm like, well, I can't just have this forever. I
I
have
have
to
to
give this
actually
back
watch
at
it.
some point.
Wait, I actually really think this is cute that you borrowed a DVD set
That
from your
DVD box
coworker.
set. I know, it's so cute and it's good. It's like, God, sometimes people know. Like, just listen to people sometimes.
Yeah.
But
Just would you just listen?
I've been really enjoying it, and it's like so out of my normal wheelhouse. But it's really good. And like everyone in it, I was looking up somebody, of course, on IMDb, and on my way to find them, I was like, oh my God, this person's in it. Oh my God, this person's. It's like every famous person in the early 2000s is in The West Wing. So it's great. Highly recommend.
What a little fun back in time
Just
moment
a
you're
little back
having.
in time.
Putting your DVD into your DVD player,
The water's
watching a
getting
show
warm,
from.
so we might as well swim.
Oh my gosh.
But other than that, yeah, what about you? Have you guys been watching anything fun?
I mean, to the antithesis of what you're doing, we are watching like one of the most like we just finished watching and are currently watching like really current reality TV right now. In a devastating turn of events, we were going to be watching The Bachelorette
Oh,
because Taylor Frankie
Haley,
Paul
Frankie, Paul.
was going to be in it. It's all bad. But before it all like went down, we were watching the latest season of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. So,
How
yes, we
many
blew through
seasons are
that.
there? Are there two, three?
Four.
There's four.
they're coming out. And that may be the last one because and
Yeah,
it might
after
need to
that
be
scandal.
this is not the girls aren't okay in
No,
this show. So
they're not okay.
I don't know if they should continue for like just morally it doesn't
Just
really feel
just leave it.
good.
Leave it alone.
Um
I was
but
so confused why. I mean, seeing the video is bad. I did watch the video, but like I was so confused because it's like everyone knew this happened. This is in like episode 2, isn't it? I only watched
yeah.
like 2 or 3 episodes of the first season, and it's like the video of her arrest is in the show.
Hmm.
So it's like surely we all knew this was in
Yeah. I
play.
think I mean it's making me think about like my own involvement in like being a fan of the show
Mm,
because yeah, I it's the latest video that just came out, and like I don't want to like totally explain everything here up at the front of our podcast, but basically the video that just came out about Taylor Frankie Paul was taken by Dakota, her boyfriend, during the altercation where she was like getting really belligerent and
mm,
violent, and she threw chairs and all of this and may it in front of her child. Like all
right.
of it is bad. And we have not seen that video up until this point, but we know about the incident and like you could read about the police report, you could like and we've heard her talk about it. And she like didn't shy away from details in some ways, being like, yeah, my child was there. I was at the lowest point. I'm really ashamed and like I was being aggressive. I was doing this stuff. And then we had the police footage of the aftermath. And so we've heard her talk about it. We've had the police footage cam of her getting arrested. And I think when you don't see the video, when
Mm-hmm.
you weren't in the room with
A lot
her,
easier to
it's a
like,
lot easier to digest and be like, look at how much she's grown. And like,
yeah.
I think like I listened to her on a podcast, like talking about it, and it's not like she loved that that happened. Like she
Yeah.
was like hitting rock bottom and really seemed to have a lot of remorse and shame over what happened. I think when you see it, it just feels a lot
It's
uglier
quite another thing to see
then when
it,
you
yeah.
hear the aftermath and like this happened, I'm really like ashamed of it. Blah blah blah. And like you can kind of downplay whatever parts you want when you talk about incidents that you're involved in.
Yeah.
Right? Anyway, all of that coupled with the fact that there's been more allegations of domestic violence in between the two of them, then it just starts to not feel like
It's not fun anymore.
not fun. And I think part of what was interesting about her and why she became such like a lovable favorite was the season started from rock bottom for her.
Hmm.
And for the, I would say the first 3 seasons, she really has like an upward swinging arc. And this fourth season, she is looking super erratic and really messy. And I think everyone felt really disappointed in her behaviors from the get go. And then as I was still watching the show, the other news came out. And it was just like, this is so dark. And this now, like, looks even worse.
It's a bit more like yeah, like a spectacle. Like you're like, should we be watching this? Like
Yeah. I'm always I feel like at odds with with myself when I watch reality TV because on one hand I do think it's really like problematic and at the same time I'm like but it's so I can't look away like
yeah.
I want to see I want to know I don't know
No, I
anyway
I mean I feel like that's why anybody watches it, right? It's like
yeah
I just gotta see. Being a reality star would be so awful and weird and like it's like you can never retire from that. Like you're just
no
famous for being yourself forever. And like, how do you get another job? Like, how do you, I don't know. That would just be such a weird place to be.
yeah
'Cause like it's just your personality that's your job. And like, ugh,
yeah
being so famous like that, I feel like would be really scary and hard. I feel like there's a sweet spot probably where you're making a lot of money, but not
hmm
everybody knows who you
who
are.
you are I agree I agree
You know what's not like that? is this movie.
is this movie. This movie. Oh, legend.
But it's also
Legend.
crazy and a spectacle.
It
And
is. Yes. Yeah, so I
people
don't
love
know.
a
I guess it's the
spectacle.
best transition. Yeah, let's get into
We've
it.
got drama, we've got murder, we've got sexy kind of. We've got a lot of crazy stuff
We've
in this.
got
1985 Legend, directed by
1985
Ridley
Legend.
Scott.
This was a weird movie. And mind you, I picked this as a follow-up to Pretty Woman,
Mhm.
which I would say in contrast, Pretty Woman is very like clear plot, scenes after scene after
Mhm.
scene, causation, all of that. It's very tight, very like a clean
This is not a
Hollywood
very plot-driven
screenplay.
movie.
Yeah. This is not plot driven. It's insane.
It's
And
vibes.
after watching it, of course, I went down like rabbit holes of like
Hmm.
what happened and learning about the different like versions. And because
Hmm.
Ridley Scott famously, like, I think had a vision and it didn't end up becoming that vision. So that, honestly, everything around the movie is quite interesting for how it came to be, and it
Hmm.
makes a little more sense with
Yes.
like how it
And
finally got released.
its final
Yeah.
form. It is really interesting and it was really fun to watch, but I do feel like you just kind of have to like suspend all disbelief and like we were both mentioning while watching it and then again while we were like how are we going to recap this like it's like actually like a dream. Not very much happens in terms of plot. There aren't very many plot points, but the movie is also so drawn out. Like there's so
Yeah.
many scenes that take a really long time, like slow motion, and like something is almost happening, and we're cutting back between another scene, and it's still almost happening, and then you cut back, and then it's
Yeah.
still almost happening. Like it takes its time, but also like nothing really happens.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like I think the most commendable thing about this movie, like the sets and like the set design and the cinematography are like unbelievable. It looks
Unbelievable.
so cool. It's like
Yes.
and especially like seeing some of the videos of like behind the scenes, like the scale of everything. Like they just
Hmm.
built a forest in like on a soundstage in it, like a
Yes.
hangar, and it's
Yes.
like actual size and everything's enormous. And there was like real birds living in the trees. It looks so cool, but the story is so weird
It's so
and not
bizarre.
very good.
Yeah. And I'll say up top for anyone listening or watching, we watched the US, the American theatrical
Mhm.
release. So it's like 89 minutes. And that, of course, like gave us a slightly different experience than, in some ways, a pretty remarkably different experience than the European release, because
Uh-huh.
that one I learned has a whole different soundtrack, completely different
Oh
soundtrack.
yeah, there's
And it
like
has
a classical score, right?
Yes, a composer was involved and did a whole score, and that was the original intent of Ridley Scott. And so that's completely different. Some scenes are spliced around, some like you see kind of two different movies between the European and the American. And then later there was also a network television version, and finally a director's cut, which is the longest version, and that's like Ridley Scott's final say. But that did not come out for like years and years later. So I think all the versions, I don't know where you're supposed to find all of them, but
Yeah.
we were able to rent the American theatrical release. I will include, there was a really interesting video I watched that a couple of people recap mostly the European versus the American version. And it was
Hmm.
actually quite fascinating. I'll leave like a link for that in
Is that
our
one
show.
longer or just different?
The European one is like only like 5 minutes longer.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be
But
curious to know what's different in that one too. I didn't read the specifics on that.
for the most part, I think the general difference, which I found fascinating, when he did the first cut of the movie, Hollywood does these like audience tests,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it like didn't come back very like it didn't do very well or something. And so the studio asked him to make changes so that people like liked the movie more. And one of the things that the studio recommends is to change the score because it really like the score can influence the tone of the movie so
Mm-hmm.
much. It sounds like the studio wanted to like get a younger audience on board.
Oh.
So the American version has a score done by Tangerine Dream,
Mm-hmm.
which is like an 80s kind of
Like synth.
synthy. But they had to score it really fast. Like I think they didn't have a big long time either. They
Mm-hmm.
So I actually thought it was really fun. It felt very 80s, very
Oh my
like
God, so 80s.
yeah. So I feel that at the time, I think depending on which one you watched, they're completely different vibes. If you watched the European version, it's orchestral, it's very cinematic, versus at the time it would have felt incredibly modern to
Yeah.
have like that synthy score on top of it. And I feel like it changes the whole tone.
Uh-huh.
And then I guess Ridley Scott said that he felt that the Americans were less sophisticated than his European viewers, which, all right.
Where
But
do you
I
get that
also,
idea?
all right, what are you saying? But I also read that Hollywood was trying some new stuff and trying to move in a new direction. And so I think it wasn't just like, oh, American viewers are dumb. There was probably some of that
Mm-hmm.
guiding studios trying to catch a broad audience. And I don't know. But basically, a lot of the changes made in the American cut are to like speed up the pace
Okay.
and make it so that uh, Jack is just like he has less like nuance, or he just is always like the good hero.
Yeah. He does feel like kind of an auxiliary character in
Mhm.
this. And that's interesting that you say that it's like to speed up the pace because like the pace is quick, but like it's the moments in between skipping ahead that are like so slow and drawn out. That's why
Yeah.
like nothing happens because it's like we're in this moment that takes so long and then they're like, "Oh, we have to catch up." And then this
Yes.
moment takes so long and then we have to catch up. So it's like we get these like really drawn out little glimpses of a story.
Some of the dialogue is really choppy, and I think some of it is cut so that it just speeds that part
Hmm.
along. There's a lot more action
Hmm.
on Jack's part, but then yeah, but you're right. We get these long shots of these other scenes, which are gorgeous. And it's like
Right.
a music video, but it is quite, the pacing is a little bit, yeah. I
And
mean,
we
you've
get
said
like
it a
no
million times.
backstory on anyone. Like I feel like there's a couple characters introduced that you're like, "Who?" And then we never find out
And then
who.
we never find out. Yeah. Yeah. It's so
But it's
funny.
fun. It's a wild ride. Okay, so this movie we said 1985, directed by Ridley Scott. It's starring Tom Cruise as Jack, Mia Sara, who the whole time I was like, what do I know her from? It's from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Mia Sara as Lily, and Tim Curry as Darkness, Lord of Darkness,
Lord of Darkness.
Lord of Darkness,
Big D.
the big D. So yeah, we start out with like like script crawling up, right? That's like it's very
Yeah.
this
There's
is a
like the
fairy
long,
tale.
it's very fairy tale. Yeah. Long scroll prologue. It's so literal, light versus dark. It's so funny too. It's very like, let's write a fantasy story. Long before their time even existed, the world was shrouded in
Uh-huh.
darkness, but then light came, and then we learned like Lord of Darkness retreats. And the other important thing to know is as long as there are unicorns, the world is safe from being completely overcome by darkness. And unicorns are safe because they only present themselves to pure people. And then the scroll basically lays out the whole like moral of the fairy tale, which is Jack Jack and Lily, who are both very pure, have to learn by the end of it that there can't be darkness without light. There can't be
Hmm.
light without darkness. And I think the ending line is the harmony of the universe depends upon an eternal balance. Out of the struggle to maintain this balance comes the birth of legends. It's so silly.
So then we start with, I feel like we get like Tim Curry's voice, which Tim Curry has an amazing voice anyway, but then it's like brought down, right? It's like
I
tonally pitched down. It
It
has to
feels
be.
really pitched down.
But we just hear his voice, right? And then we see like a glowing eye.
Yes.
I feel like we see a glowing green eye. But he's calling to his minion, who's a goblin named Blix,
Hmm.
and basically saying, "Go get these unicorns because I want to plunge the world into
Yeah,
darkness."
he wants to take over the world again. What I really liked about this movie was all the visuals and
Right.
the visual storytelling, I think, is this obviously just so much stronger. But what you get from the world building in the beginning is there. Yes, I think you're right. They do show, we do get introduced to the Lord of Darkness and his voice. But I do recall there's like a scene where we see into the forest and the trees look so giant and there's like a
Hmm.
bear
Oh
rambling
yeah, yeah, the
through.
baby bear.
And the bear looks so tiny and like the trees look just out of this world. And so it's there's light coming in through the trees and things like
There is
floating in the
something
air.
floating through the air at all times in this movie.
And so we get this very like light, scenic,
Hmm.
beautiful, like happy setting. And then there's a cut to where the Lord of Darkness lives in his like underworld realm.
Hmm.
And I had to look up what it was because I was like, is it a volcano
Yeah.
or a tree? Like, what's the house that he, like his realm,
What's his
like
house
castle?
look
What's his
like?
house like? And I think it is a tree. So he lives in
Oh,
like an, yeah, I looked up
that's
the
cool. I was just
people are
thinking it was
describing it
like
as the Great
hell,
Tree.
like underground, but a tree is
Yeah.
amazing.
The contrast between the two settings reminded me of in Lord of the Rings, where you get the Shire and like it's so
Uh-huh.
idyllic and beautiful, and then it's like cuts to the backstory of the rings, and you get
Uh-huh.
Mordor and everything
Yes.
that's
Like a
happening
very
there.
literal, like light and dark.
Yeah, and that is like what it feels like when this movie begins. Like
Hmm.
the contrast is set, and I think it's really well done in the visuals. Anyway,
Hmm. Yeah, totally agree. Um, so yeah, he tells these guys I can't leave. He can't go in the sun. So like you guys go get this unicorn horn for me so that we can plunge the world into darkness.
I think we should talk a little bit about Tim Curry as the Lord of Darkness because I think he's just incredible. When we're introduced to him, like there's torture going on, like some
Mhm.
guy's getting like all mashed up. It's like icky, dark. There's goblins
Like
that
a
like
nightmare. It's
it's
like,
like nightmarish.
uh-huh.
And it's so his character is so fabulously a villain. When he like
Just a lot of
the
pageantry.
there's been a lot of pageantry and I do think that Ridley Scott saw Tim Curry in Rocky Horror and went, that's my guy.
Yeah, just do
That's
that.
Lord of Darkness. Lord of Darkness he's like bemoaning the fact that he's alone and single and all
He's
of this.
single. Oh.
And then he wants to take back over the world, shroud it in darkness. And then do you remember he has like the most like in crazy nails and they're like
Yes.
lime green and super long
Oh
and I
yeah, I
feel like
forget that you get the full reveal up
you
front.
get the
I was
full
thinking
reveal.
you didn't get the reveal until later, but yeah, you see the full Tim Curry.
Yeah.
He has nails
Which
that are this long.
this long and they're like glow in the dark lime green. But except for in another scene,
Yeah,
they're
they're
not.
black.
Like they changed to like
He
black.
painted them.
They're like the type of nails that girls want, like when they want really long
Hmm.
nails these days. Like they're
Yeah.
super
Like a
trendy length right now.
stiletto. Uh-huh.
Yeah, stiletto nails. And the first scene, his skin almost looks like inky black.
Uh-huh.
But then later he shows more red. So I don't
Yeah.
know, in this first scene, which is another difference I learned, I don't think you get the full reveal of him in the European release until way
Oh.
later.
I feel like that could have been stronger to just like keep him in more in shadow.
Yeah, you don't
Like the
see him
reveal
until
is so crazy.
yeah, you don't see him until Lily sees him, I
Yeah.
guess, in the other version,
Yeah.
which I would argue you're right, is stronger.
Yeah. And he's got these massive horns that come out the front of his head. I think I saw an interview where Tim Curry said he was like 8 foot something with like all of this stuff
Oh
on.
my gosh.
It very much looks like I feel like I maybe made you watch this when we lived together. The Tenacious D movie, Tenacious D and the Pick of
Wait,
Destiny.
you didn't make me watch that.
I love Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny, and there is a scene at the end where Dave Grohl plays Satan, and I feel like that was absolutely
Oh,
inspired by it's like the same
sure.
devil. It's Lord of Darkness, but he is like the devil. He's like red, he has
Yes.
big black horns. I think he
But
has
it's the
hooves.
most yeah. Hooves, it's the most oversized caricature of
He's
the devil.
enormous. Yeah.
It's so fun. No,
But
he's
I feel like he
iconic.
does like a like this motion at one point with his long nail. It's very fabulous.
Yeah.
So yeah, then we shift back out to the forest. We have
Hmm.
Princess Lily. She is in this really fabulous like Renaissance gown and like the cute little like netted hat.
Stripy sleeves and it's like white, like it's very pure
Uh-huh.
young
She
lady
is pure.
princess.
In this forest, there is something, whether it's good or bad, there is something floating through the air at all times, all throughout the air. So we have like pollen, we have feathers. At some point, we have bubbles floating through
There's
the air.
bubbles at some point. Yeah.
It's just like, and it's like you would choke on it. It's so much. It's like we were
Hmm.
saying, like, this is Zelda. Like, this is just Zelda.
Apparently Zelda came out like a year later and I think there is a lot of influence, but
There has to be, yeah.
it felt so similar even down to Jack in
Hmm.
like he's like a forest green wearing
Uh-huh. Little
young
skirt.
boy, young man, yeah.
She goes into a cottage. There's a lady there, Nell, who's like a peasant lady, and she's like, they're friends. She tells Lily, like, you need to go hang out with people of your own station, and then leaves. And then I think Lily, that's when she has like a vision, right? She's looking at like a clock
Yeah, I was confused by
and
that. I
has a
guess it's
vision.
foreshadowing.
Yeah, she has a vision of the clock. It's like one of those, maybe is this a cuckoo clock where it's like got the thing spinning around,
Yeah.
like it comes out one door and goes in the other, and she's like watching it mesmerized, and then it suddenly is covered in snow, and she's like,
Yeah.
ah, and then like shakes her head and just leaves, goes back out into the forest. It's beautiful. She starts calling out to Jack, right?
Yeah.
Jack,
Jack.
Jack, and then he hops down from a tree.
He hops
He
down. Yeah.
leaps from a tree, and
Leaps
it
down.
is Tom Cruise. You
Tom
guys, it's Tom
Cruise.
Cruise. It's Tom Cruise, and
The
he
baby.
is a baby, and he is in a Link from Zelda. He's in a little green tunic dress, no bottoms.
Well, if there are bottoms, they're very short.
Right. It's
Can't
like
see them.
a brief bottom.
I swear that they just did. I mean, I know this isn't real because he was like in Risky Business and he was in some other movies prior to this. But it really feels like we see more of his legs than we do of his face, as if they just cast for who had the best thighs,
We
I
need
swear.
thighs. We need thighs out here, they said.
And did you notice like he's always like squatting?
Yes.
Like
Always squatting in
there's like
his
a scene
short
where he's
dress.
squatting holding the sword between him. Like it's
Yes. He was like, look what I can do.
look what I can do. And do you think he did a lot of his stunts? Isn't that something Tom
Yes.
Cruise is
I
known
bet
for?
he did. Yeah. Because old Tom
Boy.
goes full board into anything. So we get this little reveal. He's in this little tunic. He is impish in expression.
And any bobs?
I'm so glad you asked because we need to talk about this. We have got chin length layers for sure, but is there a ponytail too underneath? Is there a braid? Is this the jellyfish haircut? Is Jack Gen Z? There is a bob, but there is something underneath happening as well.
There's something else. There's a bob with a little bit more, with a little surprise.
There's a bob with a surprise. Bob plus.
A bob plus. Yeah, because
There's something underneath there.
we saw Jack's face from the front and the side. We're like, is it a bob? And then I think he at one point turns all the way around and there is
It's like a little rat
longer
tail in the
hair
back.
pulled into a ponytail. So yeah, I think we decided if it does appear as if he let it out, it would be a jellyfish cut.
We should have done like a ponytail and just let it hang out
Just
the
let
back
her
of
hair
my
down
bob.
underneath. We should have.
Damn it. Oh my gosh.
Just let her long hair out with the bob
Wait,
on
should
top.
we? That's too crazy. That's too crazy.
It's too crazy.
It's too crazy. We won't do it. Okay, we
We're
won't do
being too silly
it.
tonight.
We're being too
anyway.
silly.
We need to rein it in.
Okay.
Okay.
I can't get over. I feel like this is a good lesson to not get a bob because in a tank top with a bob, this is very different. This is giving something very different. Okay. Ugh. Okay. Uh,
But you're in summer.
it's summer.
It's summer. Chop your hair off. Wear your tank
Oh
top.
my God, don't do it. Um, okay, but Jack is really cute. Is Jack a human being? Is Jack something else?
I think he's not quite
These
human.
are questions that are not answered.
Yeah, I believe he's of the forest in a way that means he's not quite human.
He's forest
And
folk.
so Princess Lily, yeah, he's a forest folk. He's
But they're
linked.
in love with each other, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, Lily's in love with him. We don't know how they met. We know nothing, but she seemingly runs off pretty frequently to go meet Jack, but she's like a highborn princess. And she goes and hangs out with him in the forest. And Jack can talk to animals, and he has this connection with the creatures in the forest. And she runs to him, and then they're kind of immediately kind of making out.
Yeah,
right?
rolling around, making out. Yeah.
He like lays her down into blades of like grass. It's giving a little bit Edward Bella in the forest.
Again, it's giving Edward Bella. Foreshadowing, maybe, to the theme. Is this giving
What if
Edward
we
Bella?
did? What if we just watched Twilight and
Twilight's
it
the
all?
last one.
But yeah, they make out. They're kissing. They're in love.
And then he
And
tells her he has something to show her, right?
yeah, and she shows him like a trick she can do with light, like reflecting light. And
Oh yeah,
then
which like isn't that cool.
isn't that cool? But it's like important later for his idea later.
It's just like a little like necklace or something, right? And it like
He's like a
shines
little
light in
woman.
his face. She's like, check it out.
Yeah. Check it out. Look at this. He says, let me show you something. He blindfolds her. And then we get this gorgeous shot where they're looking down this stream. And like the framing of this is like a painting, like the most beautiful
It's so pretty.
landscape painting you've ever seen. And who just prances in slow motion down the stream, but two gorgeous all white unicorns.
They're
just-
magnificent.
They're magnificent. It's beautiful. And it's like slow motion. and
It lasts for minutes, them running towards the camera. It's so slow.
it's so slow. It's so cute.
She's like overcome. She's like possessed. She's like, I gotta go touch him. And he's like, you can't. Like, no human can touch them. You're not even supposed to be looking at them. But you're so pure that I allow it. And then she just does. She like walks out and he's like, don't, but like doesn't do anything.
Let me pose this to you because I had this thought after watching the movie. Lily feels like a warning or like an analogy for what not to do, how not to treat the environment. Does this make sense to you?
Oh, okay.
because she comes in kind of very careless, like, I
Hmm.
don't care. It's beautiful. I want to touch it.
Yeah, it's like
Totally
she
not
doesn't
listening.
respect
She
like the
doesn't
woods.
respect the forest,
Hmm.
the rules of the environment. What ends up happening is it starts like it puts the entire world in imbalance. And it's
Hmm.
like this whole, there's
I like
so
it.
many like repercussions for the
Hmm.
decision that she has to deal with.
Hmm.
Anyway, I know that has nothing to do with this. This is like so strictly a fairy tale.
No, I like it. I feel like that's
But
a great parallel.
I feel like she has the most interesting arc of this
Hmm.
movie if we're going to like actually like analyze this because she does start out like touching the unicorns when she's not supposed to. Yeah, we see her arc in the end. She recognizes her carelessness was a big mistake
Hmm.
and it put everyone in danger. And I'm spoiling the end, but we're gonna get there eventually. But
She
she ends
reforms.
up making a decision to make things right in the
Hmm.
end. Anyway, let me just throw that out there as we
I
keep
like
going through
it.
the movie because I think maybe that's interesting to think about.
What we didn't say though is that we have the goblins, we have Blix and his band of other goblins, like kind of sneaking through the trees at the same point. They have spotted Lily and Jack. They know that these two will lead them to the unicorns, so they're like sneaking along. And while Lily is going out to touch the unicorn, Blix has gotten like a little blow dart thing and is dipping the dart in poison and does the thing. Spits it. It hits the unicorn. The unicorn flips out just as Lily's touching it. So Lily and Jack are both like, "Oh, it's because she touched it that it ran away." And so it runs away. And then they kind of don't think anything else of it for a minute. They just leave.
Yeah. But he's like angry
Yeah,
with
he's
her.
super mad at
Yeah,
her.
he's like pissed off. But you're right. I think they're not realizing the like heaviness of the
Yeah.
consequence. Yeah. He's just like angry. And then she's being weird. Again, this is why I think her arc is interesting because
Hmm.
she's so
He's
careless
like,
at
"It's not a
the
big
beginning.
deal."
It's not a
Yeah.
big deal. Why are you concerned about this?
Hmm.
And then they get into this weird conversation where she's like, don't you like my ring? Don't you wish this was a wedding ring?
Hmm.
And he's like, yeah, well, don't you want to be married to me or something? And then she says, I'm a princess, so I ought to issue a challenge to my
Hmm.
suitors. And she's like being all like flirty and then throws her ring into the water and says, whoever retrieves my ring can marry me.
Hmm.
And then he dives into the water,
Swan dive.
swan dives, and this is a shot in itself, like gorgeous Tom Cruise diving off the edge into the water. But then she starts freaking out. I'm like, what did you think he was going to do if he
Uh-huh.
threw your ring in, right?
Jack. Ah.
Don't you think that was odd behavior?
Yeah. Yes, I do. It's like she doesn't think about anything she does in like the first four-fifths of the movie. I feel like it's only at the end that she starts like taking some
Yeah.
agency for what she does.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very like frivolous, and maybe that's part of it too, is it's trying to be like, she's so frivolous, she doesn't,
Yeah.
know about the world yet.
And I guess, and maybe that's what it's trying to portray innocence in a
Hmm.
way. That's her, especially, is so innocent that she
Hmm.
wouldn't even realize that something bad could
Hmm.
possibly happen. If I recall the scrolling words at the beginning, I think there was something about that. So maybe we
Innocence,
just need to pay
purity.
attention better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could
Um,
have paid attention better.
Also, I believe that all of the dialogue had to be dubbed over because it was
Yes.
so
Yeah,
loud,
I did
right?
see that in an interview. Look what I've been done here. Is this better
So
or
cute.
worse?
No, no, no. I
Ooh.
liked it.
Ooh.
No, that's
Okay.
good. Okay, that's better.
Yeah, that Lily said in an interview that it was like so loud on the soundstage from all the fans like blowing the
Mm.
feathers and like the birds that now live in the trees, like everything was so loud that like every single word of dialogue was dubbed, which I feel like lends to the like eeriness and the like
Yeah.
dreamlike
Same
spookiness
with
of it.
same with Suspiria, right?
Yeah,
Wasn't that
yes.
all dubbed? It's the
It
same
all comes back to
oddness.
Suspiria.
And every movie is actually just
It's
Suspiria.
they're all just Suspiria in the end. But again, I feel like this is like such a perfect 80s, like how things were just like a little too scary in the 80s for
Yeah.
kids, but it's like a kid movie. It's I feel like
Yeah.
this with the Tangerine Dream score is like the most like hyper 80s like feeling of what I feel like it must have felt like to just like live at that time. And it's very it's cool, but it's like also unsettling. But he dives in, he's looking, this is another one of those scenes that's very drawn out. He is underwater for minutes looking for the ring. She is up on the cliff. He jumped off a cliff, going, Jack, oh no. And then meanwhile, we have Blix approaching the unicorn, raising very slowly, cuts off the unicorn's horn. It's pretty awful. And then immediately this wind kicks up and clouds cover the sun, and it's now snow instead of feathers that's flying around.
Mhm.
And poor Lily is up top, like, oh my gosh, the snow.
She's
There's
like
so much snow.
screaming.
She's screaming. It's like turning into a nightmare. Also, the unicorns, when they communicate with each other, it's like whale noises. Did you notice that? It's like that
Hmm.
weird, like, like spooky whale noise. And I feel like one of them is like really freaking out at this point, that the other one is, it's gross and weird. And Jack finally runs out of breath, goes to leave the lake he's in, and it is frozen over from this sudden winter. And he's like freaking out, like punching at the ice, trying to get out. Lily is swirling around in the snow.
Help,
It's up to
not
her,
helping at all.
not
And she
helping.
like runs off, I
Yeah,
think.
I think she runs away because he gets out and she's gone. This is something I saw a scene of in one of the little like YouTube documentaries I watched where it's like a behind the scenes, it's like a super from above shot of them shooting her walking through the snow on the soundstage. And it's from the trees and like pans down, and it's like the size of her compared to the trees, and she's like
Mm.
actually like wading through
Yes.
whatever substance that was. And then there's like this tiny little crew like filming her walk through this forest. It's so
It's
cool.
incredible. We have to just like basically put stills up this
Yeah, the
entire
entire movie.
video because this is so beautiful.
It's
Like
so
every
pretty.
shot, the production and the set design is just out of this world. It's crazy. So Lily runs off. She's like hiding back in that cottage that she was
Hmm.
at earlier and starting to freak out because she overhears that the goblins are gonna they talk about how she was the bait
Oh, yeah, yeah.
for the unicorns. They're trying to test out the powers of the. Is it called an alicorn or what is the
I
horn
don't
of a
remember it. I feel
unicorn
like I remember
called?
them calling it something weird at some point, though, that I was like,
Yeah.
what's that?
So they're trying to test out the powers because they know that the horn is really powerful and they need to bring it back to the Lord of Darkness and she was the bait basically. And so
Hmm.
that's when she's realizing like, oh my God, what have I done?
There are
And
consequences to my actions.
look at this. Look what happens when you just do whatever you want.
We jump back to Jack for a second because that's when he meets all
Right,
his
all the
friends.
other
Yeah.
forest folk.
So he meets Gump, who is like a like a Mr. Tumnus
Yeah,
type
yeah.
situation, right? And then there's two dwarves, Screwball and Brown Tom, and then Una, who's like a fairy. She's just like a ball of light. And they're super pissed. Gump is so mad at him and like yelling at him, like, "What have you done, Jack?" He's super
And his
mad.
voice sounds just like
It
that.
sounds exactly like that. This kid creeped me out. He's a child, and he gave me the willies for some reason. And maybe it's that dubbing again. Like it just like the sound just didn't seem right ever. And then you have like the synth over the whole thing.
Hmm. And the way he stares with
Oh
his
yeah, he has like
eyes.
big like light blue eyes, right? It's a lot of intensity.
A lot of intensity coming out of this child, yeah.
So then they find the unicorn that's dead, that's got its horn cut
Ye-
off. And they're like, okay, we need to make it right. We need to find
Yeah,
darkness.
the other unicorn comes over and is mourning this dead unicorn from
Okay.
because I think he dies when the alicorn
Oh, yeah,
was
yeah. And he's
cut
like, you need to
off
stay
and
here and
poisoned.
watch it. Right.
They said, yeah, so they learn ba- basically at some point it's communicated that only a hero can save
Which
the
again, like, how
world.
do they know this? Like, where is this information coming from?
The forest people just
They
know.
just
They
know.
just understand. And they kind of are like questioning Jack and realize like you can be the hero. You're good
Uh-huh.
enough. Like you're brave enough,
Pure of heart
strong
and
enough.
brave. Yeah.
And they leave one of the other forest folk named what's his name?
I think it's Screwball that gets left,
Yeah, Screwball.
which that was maybe a mistake on their part, leaving someone named Screwball
Yeah,
to
there's a
watch.
couple of like little forest gnomey guys that are kind of bumbling
Mhm.
around and
Also, the makeup in this movie, the like
yeah,
prosthetics and stuff are really impressive.
every character that's like a magical creature that needs to be have different proportions. It's
Hmm.
all applied prosthetics.
Hmm.
It's really, really cool. They leave Screwball to guard the unicorns because then they have to go get some special armor.
Oh, yeah, in like a cave, right? That Una's like, "Come, I'll take
I
you."
know where it
Does Una
is.
talk? Una talks, but well, she's a fairy, right?
Yeah, but you don't know, I think, but you don't know that she is you think she's just a ball of light
Yeah.
that like
So
just
she's like, "I'll
communicates with
take
them.
him to the armor." We see this like, it's like piled up, covered in glitter. Everything is also covered in glitter.
Everything's covered in glitter.
There's like a sword and like a book open, and then this suit of armor. It's not a suit of armor; it's a top because he's gonna stay bottomless.
He only puts on a top, yeah.
It's like
Legs must be
chainmail,
out.
which I read that this was made, and then once I read it, I could see it in the pictures. It was made of flattened bottle caps.
That's so
So it's like you
cool.
can kind of see like the ridges around. It's super cool. It looks
Hmm.
like fish scales.
Yeah, it does.
And it's just a little blouse. It's a little tunic he puts on, and the sword he takes as well. And then in this cave, Una reveals she can become a person, a woman who is
Yes.
so scary looking.
Talk
She's
about intense eyes.
blue. They're like contacts, so it's just one solid shade of blue. And her hair, this was another hair that we were like, what's happening in the back? It's like, when you're little, maybe this is not a universal experience. I feel like I had short hair. You would put a headband on the back of your head and like put all your hair forward. That's what, but it's like so wispy. It's like just the wispies, but it's like
Yeah.
a crown that sticks out this far, and her eyes are so blue. And she's like, "Don't tell anyone my secret." Yeah. That she can turn into a human woman.
Yeah.
I don't know
That she can turn
why.
in
I don't
yeah,
know what's
to
the
like
secret.
yeah. It's like, okay, that's bizarre. But
Says
she
what?
reveals it to Jack.
And then we come back to the demons at their campfire with this is the mummy I was talking about.
Oh
There's like
yeah.
a mummy roasting on a campfire or something. It's like a nightmare. It's like you forget, and then you're like, oh my God, there was a mummy on the
There was a
campfire.
mummy.
They're sitting around the campfire talking about like what they can do with the horn. Like we should just take it and overthrow the darkness.
Yeah. They're
And
like,
I
what if we
feel like
don't?
he pops out of the shadow in a cloak,
Yeah.
right? Did I make this up?
No, you're right. Sorry, it's all a dream.
The
It's all
mummy,
a dream.
I feel like the mummy comes to life and like grabs the guy that's talking
Yeah,
shit
he like pops out and grabs him. And you
and then
don't see
jumps
it
into a
coming.
hole with him
Hmm.
that goes to the tree. It's
And pulls him down into the underworld. Yeah.
and then Mr. Darkness is there like in a cloak and he's like, "Give me that horn," right?
Yeah, Mr. Darkness, I really like. But they do call him Big D,
Big
I think,
D.
in that moment. And I really thought it was so funny.
But then he's like, "I'll take this. You guys go get the princess and the other
So
unicorn,"
yeah,
right?
one of the goblin guys. So there's like two goblins where you can kind of see their faces, and there's another goblin. Well, you think he's a goblin named Blunder, who has
And that's the one that gets taken by the mummy, right?
yeah, I think so. He's wearing like a really cool knights, almost like a knight armor helmet, but it's like really tall and weird and like almost like a kettle with
It's like an
like a
old timey like
face
fishing,
guard.
like
Yeah,
diving
yeah, it
mask.
has like old scuba diving like aesthetic, but also fantasy night.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but he's really small and short like the other goblins. He tries to use the horn on Lord Darkness, I
Oh yeah,
think.
like
He's
take
like trying to
over.
wield the power and like why do we give it to him when I can just have it?
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't work and so when he gets pulled down, they throw him in a dungeon. Lord Darkness is like everybody's gone. You killed both the unicorns and they're like, "Yeah, we did the job." But they disclose that there's still one
Mm-hmm.
left. They were they given clear instructions? We're not sure.
Sure.
They were fixated on getting one horn. But as long as there are any unicorns, there can still be light in the world. And so Lord of Darkness says you have to go back out after the mayor, the other unicorn, and kill her. But then, yeah, I think also try to capture
Yeah,
Lily.
Lily. And I think Lily is overhearing this, right, from the trees.
Yes.
And so she goes to run back to I thought it was Screwball, but maybe it's Brown Tom.
Yeah, it might be Brown Tom.
And
I
is like,
forgot
"We
what was the
gotta
other one.
go," and he's like asleep or something. He does not get up in time. And so the goblins get her and get the mayor.
But she was able to tell him, like, what that the goblins are after her
Yeah.
and the unicorn.
And
And
then
so,
Tom just gets like knocked out, right?
yeah, they like shoot
Oh
him, I
yeah.
think, with another poison dart. But he keeps like a bottle of liquor or something in his
Yeah.
hat, and that
It
protected
just
him.
smashes his
It's
bottle.
kind of this like again like comedy,
Oh
like
yeah,
for some
they're like
reason,
shooting arrows at him and he's like, "Ah,
yeah.
ah."
It's really funny. I don't know that the tonality with those guys was
It's
really
like it's for
bizarre.
kids, but it's also like way too scary for kids. But I feel like
Yeah,
that's just like the 80s.
yeah. That's just the
Um,
80s. Sorry, that's just how it is. Jack and the other guys come back. Tells them what's going on,
mhm.
and the crew gears up and they go to Lord Darkness's
Oh, but
underworld
first they
castle.
have to cross the swamp. This was the
Oh yeah,
scariest
yeah,
part. They, this creature pops out like a jack in the box
yeah.
that I was not expecting at all. And it was so gross and scary. This is Meg Mucklebones is the character name.
The swamp hag.
He
Yeah.
looks like the lady in The Shining that's in the bathtub, I feel like. It's like this naked, old, drippy, swampy lady. She pops up like a Jack in the Box and is like all tall. And she just like yells at Jack, says she's gonna get him. And then I think he shows her reflection in his shield and like she gets hypnotized for a second. And then he cuts off her head.
Yeah, he decapitates her. It all happens so
It happens
immediately.
so quickly. She just pops up. It was so shocking. And it's like a really horrific costume. It was very scary.
It's really cool. But you're right, she does look like the lady in the bathtub in The Shining, but larger than life.
Yeah,
Like
she's
just so
huge. Yeah.
dripping. It's a really crazy costume. It's
Like a
scary.
nightmare thing at the car wash.
Yeah. And I guess in the European version, he doesn't just immediately decapitate her. He tries to riz her up a little bit
Ooh.
first, which I find is really hilarious, and I wish they kept that
I
in.
like that too. And I feel like
He
it would
like,
have worked on her.
yeah, I don't know. Well, hello.
Can I interest
Like,
you in any company tonight?
but then he ends up killing her
Chops
anyway,
her.
I think. So,
So then they get to the lair and they end up in the kitchen, which I also found this kitchen very scary and nightmarish. There's like these two big guys with like like bags wrapped around their head or something, like tending the kitchen. They like their faces are covered. We find that the little goblin that got taken down there is in like a pot pie, right? So they take off the lid of the pie and he like pops out. And then this is when we learn that he's not a goblin. He's a wood folk. He's a fairy
yeah.
folk. He's one of them.
No explanation, but I guess there's like now we have a friend on the inside, I
Mhm.
guess. I don't know exactly.
And then this part also feels like a dream to me. I feel like there was like a long sequence of them like battling these guys, but I don't remember it at all. Like of them like getting one over on the guys that were in the kitchen.
Because I think more importantly is like what sticks out more is obviously what's happening with Lily in the other room.
Sure.
But I feel at some point they do get captured by the goblins, like some of them, or do they first have the fight in the kitchen?
I don't
Eventually,
know.
they all get like put in a dungeon at
Yes.
some point.
Yeah.
I don't know,
I don't
but at
know.
some point they meet the guy in either a dungeon or a pie, and but we just have like one extra fairy forest folk
Yes.
along for the ride. And so they're like regrouping to
Uh-huh.
get ready to go save the unicorns because there's going to be a ritual to kill
Yes.
the final unicorn later that night.
Yes. And I do feel like yeah, they get locked up, right? At some point they get locked up in a dungeon.
Oh, everyone's going to love this retelling, but I swear it's
I feel like if you guys watch it, you'll
if
see
you
what we're
watch
talking
it, it
about.
feels us describing this is like I know it sounds like us telling you a dream. Like when you wake up and you're like, then I was here,
But he
and then I was
wasn't
there.
there. He was in a
Yeah.
pie, but he was also in a
I was in a
cage.
pie.
This is what the movie's like. Watch
I
it
was
and you will
wearing a
see.
wig, and then I wasn't
Nothing
wearing
makes
a wig.
nothing makes sense. So at some point they are in a cage and they're like, how are we gonna get out? Somebody has to go get the key, and Jack is like, Una can go get the key, and Gump is like, she's too small, she can't carry it back. And then Jack's like, but her secret immediately tells her secret. She's so mad. She turns big-eyed human and is like, my secret with her hair. Then she rizzes him up immediately
She
and is
tries to
like,
seduce him.
she's
Yeah.
like, if you give me a smooch, I'll do it. And he's like, no, I am in love with Lily. And then she changes into Lily and is like, what about now? And then they're getting all close and he's almost going to do it. And then he's like, no, I'm too honorable. And then she changes back. She's so mad. And then I think Gump or someone is like, we're all going to die if you don't get us out of here. And so she reluctantly leaves through the little
Yeah.
bars to go find the key. And then we get Lily is there. Where is Lily? Is she?
Yeah. She gets taken in there, and I guess like Lord Darkness. It's kind of giving Beauty and the Beast
Mhm.
vibes, where he's letting her roam around the castle
Yeah.
as long
And
as
I feel
she's
like here we get a really good look at the scale of everything in
yes.
this layer, which again, it's so we were saying this is like Suspiria, how like this stuff is way too big for like she it's making her look like she's little, like
Yeah.
she's like this big
Like
because
scaled down
there's like
really
a
small.
fireplace she walks up to and she's like not even half as tall as the fireplace, like, and it's all real, it's all sets, it's so crazy. There's
It's so
pillars that are like, 4 stories high. It's so crazy. We also have a little aside here where Darkness is lamenting aloud to his father, and he's saying that he's distracted by Lily, like she tortures my thoughts, I don't understand. And the father's voice comes from the fireplace. He says that Lily attracts him because she is so pure, and so he suggests that Darkness seduces her to corrupt
Mhm.
her and bring her to the dark side, and then
Mhm.
she won't be a distraction anymore. So then Lily walks into like a throne room, right? Where there's like a big banquet table.
Yeah, they have like a big table set for her with all of the things she could ever want or need. Yeah. So we made a joke that this is the scene in Pretty Woman where she gets presented with the $250,000 necklace or whatever. In the
The
snaps
little
it down.
temple. Darkness snaps it shut.
Darkness snaps it shut. But no, she opens this jewelry case and there's this gorgeous
Hmm.
necklace that's like sparkling and somehow emitting light and it's the most magical, fantastical necklace.
Hmm.
And she's enchanted by it
And then
and
I
puts
feel
it
like this is where we
on.
get the
And
yeah, she
then
puts it on,
she
and
puts
then
it
there's
on then the dress seduction scene comes
Yes.
in. And it is
Tell us
really
about
fun.
this. This was crazy.
There's a dancer that comes in who's wearing a black dress with it's like all covering her body. And then there's a
The collar?
collar that's tall and goes up behind her head and it's pointed at the edges and has a similar silhouette to Darkness's horns. And this dancer like spinning around the
She's
room.
got like a black, like glittery
Yes.
mesh hood on. So it's like
Mesh
you can't
hood.
really
She's
see her
completely
head.
covered.
It
Yeah.
kind of just looks like the dress is like
So the
dancing
dress
by
is
itself.
again very like Beauty and the Beast, like an inanimate thing dancing for her. And yeah, I think this is it. I think it is just supposed to be a dress because then Lily is drawn to it and is watching the dancing, and then like she moves forward to it. I
Yeah,
think, and
and
then
then she starts dancing with
she
it for
dances
a
with
minute.
it. There's like
It's like a TikTok transition.
a transition, and she's wearing the dress.
And then she's wearing the dress and she's like, ah! And then her hair is all spooky spiral curls and she's black eye makeup on.
Yes, it's a complete
She is
contrast.
corrupted.
Yes. She's corrupted. They put her in the dress.
They got her.
She's black lipstick. Yeah. It's very 80s goth. It's
So
really fun.
80s. And her eyeliner like comes down.
Yeah, it's
It's
fantastic.
very fantastic.
I think I read she was 16.
She was great in this.
Yeah.
I feel like especially once she transitions into like dark Lily, I feel like she kind of carried. Like she was.
Yeah.
So then we get, because his trick has worked and she is now corrupted, we get the big D reveal through a mirror, right?
Oh, it's so cool.
It's so
It's through a mirror.
scary.
Yeah.
First is like his hoof, and then his other hoof, and then it's like horns, and
His
it's like
hand.
kind of glowing around where he's coming through. And the effect is, it's like 80s, but it still looks great. And he like comes through and she's like flipping out. She's so scared because like, what the hell is this? He says he just wants to talk to her. He's again like very like sultry and Tim Curry-y.
They're basically chatting at the table. Yeah, and I think it is a power dynamic where he thinks he's like successfully seducing
Right.
her, right? I want to marry you. You're going to be my bride, and all of this can be yours. He's wooing her with all these gifts and all these things. I feel like from the audience standpoint, we're not supposed to know. Well,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I feel like we're not supposed to know whether or not it's working on her
Yeah, I
or
feel
not.
that way.
Because at first it's a no because she says like clearly it's never going to happen. I'm not going to marry you. Because she loves Jack and she's a princess and whatnot. Then she says that she will if she's allowed to kill the second unicorn during the ritual. And so I think that's where Lord Darkness thinks, oh, it's working. Now
Like,
she's
hell
like the
yeah.
most evil because he's very much the character knows he's a bad guy, right? And so all his minions, he's always like, is your heart as black as pitch? And like, are you only thinking evil thoughts? Like that's like, the very childlike evil people are just like
All evil.
scheming and being evil all the time. And so I feel like her presenting as like, I'll marry you, but only if you let me murder a unicorn,
And he's like,
is
yes,
he's like my lady,
my dream girl.
my dream girl, his manic pixie dream girl
Manic pixie dream girl.
in the form of Dark Lily.
But Jack and Gump overhear this from the wings, right? And Gump's like, look, she's bad. You can see for yourself. She's evil. Like, we gotta kill her. Oh, meanwhile, they came up with a plan.
Yeah.
This is fine. We can fast forward. This is, again, something that takes 25 minutes. It's crazy. But they come up with a plan. In the kitchen, there's like little pie tins. Well, they're like
They're huge.
big pie tins.
They're big pie tins.
And they're
everyone else is
silver,
small.
and they're super reflective. And so they decide to rig a series of pie tins from the hole they came down through, reflecting the sun, until it hits darkness.
Yes.
Because they're going to destroy him with the power of the sun.
Yeah, at some point he reveals that he can be killed by the sun.
Only the power of the sun can
Only the
destroy
power
me.
of the sun.
Nobody better bring the power of the sun down here.
I swear to God.
So they're watching and they're like waiting for one of the dwarves is like, I'll climb up and do the last one up top. So they're like waiting for him and then spying on this interaction. And Gump's like, look, she's bad. She's lost. Like, we got to take her out. They go to the dungeon with the unicorn and she's like about to do it, which I feel like we know at this point
At this
she's
point,
not gonna do it.
yeah, we know she's not gonna do it. Jack knows she's not
Jack
gonna do it.
knows, yeah.
He
He's like,
believes
"My
in
Lily."
his heart
Uh-huh.
that she wouldn't do it, so he doesn't end up shooting her with a bow and arrow.
So then we get a couple of things converging. They put the final plate into place. I think Una has to fly up and like wake up. The dwarf fell asleep up there.
That's the whole thing.
She turns into a human, she shakes him awake. They turn the light. It's it's like zepping down the hallways.
Lily
Oh, she
is
breaks the chain.
yeah, Lily's raising her sword or knife, and she's supposed to cut off the other horn, but she cuts the chain instead. She was pure the whole
The
time.
whole time she got him. Then darkness hits her and like knocks her out. She's down for the count. And then darkness and Jack are fighting for a second, which I felt like that was kind of scary too. It's like big Tim Curry, 8 feet tall, like running and stuff. It's like he was like very agile in this costume. Just when it seems like all is lost, the light comes through the doors, shatters, blows the doors off the hinges, hits darkness. Blah! He goes flying into space.
Into space, like blips out.
He just goes flying out into space. And then his last words to Jack are that he cannot be destroyed because there can never be light unless there is also darkness. And then Gump brings the unicorn horn back with them.
Mm-hmm.
They just put it back on the unicorn.
They just reattach it. It
Well,
can be done.
It can be done. It wakes up. It's fine. The two are joined. They are dancing, prancing in the creek together. The sun comes back out, which I guess the sun would have to be out for that plan to work. Maybe they were above the clouds. The snow is gone, though. Lily's still asleep, but she looks normal again.
Oh yeah, because she got whacked. Yeah.
So she looks back like a princess, but she's
Yes.
like Sleeping Beauty now. And Jack has this great idea that he'll swan dive again back into the pond and find
He said-
the ring.
He said, "I'll only do this movie if I can be diving into things.
I need to swan dive twice.
I need a swan
Two
dive."
swan dives. He finds the ring again, very like Lord of the Rings, like grabs it off the bottom, and then he puts it on her finger and gives her true love's kiss. She awakens. I read that this was like an alternate ending. Did you read this as well? There's like a couple different alternate endings.
Yeah, but explain them. I guess I'm not sure.
One is this one, which is he kisses her, she wakes up, she is like changed by this experience, but they leave the woods together
Together. Yeah, walking out into the sun. Yeah.
while the fairy folk look on and are like pleased and everything is beautiful. And then darkness is the final shot is of darkness like laughing as he plans revenge or something. The European theatrical version also ends with both Jack and Lily running off into the sunset, but without Darkness's final appearance. And then in the director's cut, Lily wakes with Jack trying to convince her that she was dreaming, but she is ultimately unconvinced. They confess their true love for each other, but Lily realizes they live in two different worlds now. She puts the ring on his finger and tells him to treasure it, then asks if she can come back tomorrow. Jack says he will always be there for her, and Lily returns to her home for her responsibilities. Jack happily runs off into the sunset by himself.
which I kind of like
I
that.
feel like
Like
I like that
I
one
really
better.
like that the best.
They've both been through such vastly different experiences with this. Like,
Yeah. And I think it speaks to the putting the universe or the world back in balance, right?
yes.
Like the fairy folk roam and take care of the forest. This rich bitch needs to go back into her tower because she's
Yes.
touching things she's not supposed to touch. And I don't know. But like, it's like she goes back and does her thing, but she always has that connection with Jack. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like that better.
I do too. And we didn't even touch on, did you? I assume you read this too, that the soundstage burned down
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah. And I can't.
Like,
What
where's
I
the
don't
break?
know is at what point
Yeah.
during filming, like, did they have to? I know they eventually rebuilt the
Yeah.
soundstage, but what
And
did
I
they end
think
up
they
having to
worked with
do?
what they, it seems like they worked with what they had
I
to an
see.
extent because I watched a video where a guy was like, we had this like insane tracking shot planned. Like that it was like we were set up to film it that day where it was like a crane shot that comes up and it's like we're seeing like Jack walk. It's like through a forest
Huh.
and it's like you're watching him like walk down a path like that shot with the bear kind of. And then that was scrapped because that they like weren't able to do it. So I wonder if there was like more close-ups or if like that bog scene was put into like I feel like there's like little fixes that we wouldn't know about, you
Hmm.
know? If that hadn't happened, it would be even cooler because it was they built like a forest, like an actual
They
forest.
built an actual forest. They brought in real trees, but then they also built other trees
Hmm.
that are even larger just to
Hmm.
bring the scale of everything. So
Yeah.
it is magical,
It's
just
so
like
magical.
just like we loved this set of Suspiria so much that
Hmm.
we were like, I wish I could live there. This is the same thing. This is the
Hmm.
fantasy dream world that I just
Hmm.
want to like live in this
All the
forest.
stuff just floating through the air all the
Yeah.
time. It's like it is like a music video, like you said. Like it's just so magical, and I would love to see it with the orchestral score. I feel like that would be such a different watching experience, and
And
like
I
maybe a little more timeless.
what I also wish we could have seen with the orchestral score is that there are some little like songs that Lily sings apparently too.
Ooh.
And in the video I'll link, they show clips of them, and they're just like her like almost little medieval tunes, right? I would say a lot of the dialogue, especially with the like magical creatures, is very like kind of poetic, kind of.
Yes. Yeah.
I wish we could have seen her singing the little songs because they're actually quite sweet and beautiful, and it's just like as she's like running through the
Mm-hmm.
forest, she like sings about bluebells, and that's
Mm-hmm.
like needed later. And I don't know, she just like sings little things that like they're symbolic for the
Yeah.
story, but they're also like part of the score and part of the overall tone. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't, did this movie need more time or more money? Like, what? Or did Ridley Scott just get scared and like cut a bunch
It's
of stuff out?
from my understanding, so they did the original release with this with everything, got bad reviews on the audience test, and I think Hollywood was really caring about
Hmm.
how the audience would pick things up. I also think at the time Ridley Scott was really trying to pivot his career
Hmm.
to have a pretty commercial
Yeah.
trajectory. He'd been making like Blade Runner was super artsy, and I think he was worried about getting too obscure, too niche. Although his aesthetic sensibilities are pretty art house, he
Hmm.
wanted this fantasy to be a super commercial, hit a broad audience, and so does the studio. And it felt too dark, I guess, believe it or
Hmm.
not, in the first go around. So they cut it down a lot and made it feel lighter. Again, they brought in for the American audience, they said we need like younger people aren't going to see this. Put in a cool band like to do the
Yeah.
music. And yeah, I just think it had a lot more to do with 80s Hollywood studios trying to harness whatever was happening with like
Yeah.
Star Wars and like
Capitalism, baby.
yeah, trying to get these big audiences again. Ridley Scott also like the Blade Runner director's cut is like the best version of Blade
Right.
Runner too. So I think he always has this bigger overarching dream for what the movie is supposed to be. And then as soon as you get studios and stuff involved,
Yeah.
like everything has to happen under budget. Everything
Right.
has to happen under certain circumstances because they need to sell the movie. But it like barely made the money back. Like
Oh, really?
it flopped in the box office. So I don't even think after all that,
Yeah.
it wasn't even really well received at the time. And which is why it's become such like a cult classic
Yeah.
because the people that keep this movie alive like have come to the movie at a later point and just been there for different reasons, then this is such a perfectly crafted movie.
Right.
It has other things about it that are amazing, and it has become so influential for sci-fi, dark fantasy.
Totally. And Tim Curry is so sexy in it.
Oh my gosh, Tim Curry. He's so good too. He's
So
really
good.
fun.
It's like almost like a drag performance. It's like it's so like campy and like sultry and like it is very Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's like the same character, but
Perfect. Yeah.
just as the devil.
Yeah. No, I loved it.
And I wonder if some of that, what you were talking about, like all those changes that were made from the studio, like it feels like that's where maybe some of the like dissonance comes from in this movie is like it's in the space in between like Ridley Scott's vision and then this like commercialized version. So it's like things are cut shorter and like we're not given an explanation on things and like the music is a little different than it should. Like I feel like there's all these things that like put it in this place that is like so dreamlike but also like kind of like unsettling. And yeah, I wonder if that how much of that was like written in it from the beginning and how much of that just happened from making cuts
I
and
think
changes.
I do think it's almost woven into the DNA of the movie that it was never supposed to quite know what it was. From what I was doing my research, Ridley Scott had wanted to do a fantasy at some point, and he was influenced by a lot of things like Grimm's fairy tales, the Cocteau's Beauty and the Beast. He has the kind of these like influences. We know he has the chops to do a grand, masterful, visually spectacular movie. But then he pairs up intentionally with a screenwriter who like has been kind of making weird movies. I think he was like the American screenwriter will simplify the plot in a way that's accessible and digestible, I think was his intention. And I think he really came like, I want unicorns in it. I want a Lord of Darkness. And like, I want
I
like
want
a
a
good and evil
jellyfish haircut.
queen. Yeah, and a jellyfish haircut and legs, good legs.
I want thighs. Give me thighs on display.
So I think he had like, these are the elements I want. Let's make a story. And it was a tug and pull of like, do we go super dark or do we keep, and then ultimately he was like, well, I want kids to watch, I want my kids to watch it. And so let's lean Disney. But if he just got to make it without worrying about other people liking it, I imagine it would just go like all dark fantasy and
Yeah.
like super.
Which how cool would that be to watch that?
Okay, wait, one more. I have one more fun fact for you that I learned. Apparently in the original script, which they like luckily removed from the final script or the final filming, is that Lord Darkness does seduce her in a way when Lily's in his realm with him, and they like lick each other or something nasty.
Why did they rob us of that?
I don't think I could watch.
Ew. A 16-year-old girl and Tim Curry. Why would they take that out?
Why would they remove that?
That's
So, yeah, I think there was
outrageous.
like, it was, I think a confused at if it should be for kids or not. And
Yeah.
then it was like, yeah, no, it's for kids, but it's like super scary.
Super scary and horny. But that's the 80s
But
at the end
that's
of the
the
day.
80s. Yeah.
I did just find a quote that I had written down from an article by, I think the guy's name is Joshua Edelglass, and it's just like his thoughts on the movie. And just this first sentence is the theatrical version of Legend plays like something of a tone poem. And I feel like that's exactly what this is. Is it's like it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but like you get the vibe. And the
Yeah.
vibe's very cool.
I was laughing because when we sat down to watch this movie, we were excited. We were like, this is kind of a brain off movie.
Oh
This is
yeah.
going to be super fun. But I think I just turned my brain off way too much because it was so like,
It
what
was
am I
too
watching?
much. It was so crazy. It does feel like a dream. I think it's the mixture of, yeah, like so little, so few plot points
Yeah.
and so drawn out. Like you're watching the unicorns run in slow motion for 35 seconds and you're just like,
Okay, okay. Yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree with the criticism that it's like the substance is in the visuals and the
yeah.
aesthetic and not in the plot or the characterization.
Hmm.
Like that's all, it's very shallow and like
But how
that stuff's so
fun.
cool. But sometimes you just need to watch dreamy landscapes with synthy
Hmm.
soundscapes, and that's all
Whenever,
you need.
when have we ever faulted anything for being pretty? Never, not
Never.
here.
Not on this podcast. Not on this podcast. I loved it. Yeah. I mean,
I
it
loved
was
it too.
really,
And we are very excited for part 3 of this chunk. We're just gonna send it with what is this, 2021? 20,
it's pretty
20
recent.
2020 something. The Green Knight. We are very excited. I've never seen it. Have
Me
you?
neither.
Oh, very
I wanted to. I wanted to see it when it came out, and then it just passed me by.
and it's, I feel like, gonna be somewhere in between Legend and Pretty Woman. Maybe.
They usually do.
They
They
line
usually
up.
are. The third movie we choose somehow connects us all.
So I
Yeah.
can't wait to find out how these 3 are connected because
Yeah.
the first 2 were not connected in the ways we thought they would be at all.
No. We do get girl needing saving
And girls saving the boy as
and girl
well.
saving the boy because in a way, yeah, he needed her.
Hmm.
I mean, she put them in that pickle, but he also needed her to get out of it.
Hmm.
And they taught each other things.
We got the necklace in the box.
The necklace in the box was there. Great, great dress reveal was
Great
there.
dress reveal. A girl not being intimidated by a man in man in power.
We also have a girl and a guy from two different worlds.
Great legs. Great pair of legs.
A great pair of legs.
But yeah, Green Knight. We'll see how it all wraps together. I can't wait.
Stay tuned. We'll see
Okay.
you next
Stay
time.
tuned, everybody. We'll see you next time. 3, 2, 1. Bye.